this panel when I was preparing last night. I was reading the investor con calls of top listed retail companies in the country, and I was looking as to what their commentary is when it comes to tier 2, tier 3 cities. Some of the keywords that I picked, and I would like to read them aloud here: inflationary headwinds, premiumization in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, renewed consumer sentiment, K-graph growth, targeting consumers in a personalized way, some of the tier 2, tier 3 markets showing immense potential to outperform tier 1 markets, and some real estate developers reiterating their commitment about increasing retail portfolios across multiple geographies. You know, all of these keywords signify the potential of these emerging cities, and that is the reason why we are discussing as to how retailers today are looking at these cities of tomorrow to expand their business. And in your opening comments, panelists, I would like to understand from you the consumer sentiment that you're reading, the macro trends that you're reading, which makes the retailers look toward these cities with such great momentum. Akash, if you would like to start.
Yeah, I agree what you said exactly. All the retailers are actually eyeing towards the tier 2, tier 3 cities as well, because all the metro cities are already overcrowded, and all the retailers are present in all those cities. And now the next growth part is tier 2, tier 1, tier 3 cities.
Right.
So yes, we also being developers, so we eye these cities as potential, and we also planning to explore these cities. Like recently, we have seen a lot of malls have inaugurated in cities like Indore, Lucknow, Pune, all these cities. So I totally agree, and we as developers, we are definitely eyeing these cities to get a good land parcel to bring to make a mixed-use development with a retail, with entertainment, with a hotel. So yeah, I agree to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Akash, for those opening comments. Mr. Sameer, if you would like to add to that as to what you're seeing when it comes to those macro trends.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Arjun. Definitely. So I am partner at Meena Bazaar, and I have set out on a very ambitious growth journey. My plan is to open one new retail store every 30 days. And I'm happy to share with everyone, in the last 2 financial years, we have actually opened one new retail store every 37 days. We've added 20 new retail stores in the past 2 financial years. And for us, our immediate focus is tier 2 and tier 3 cities. I mean, everything, be it the new bus town Ayodhya with the whole temple opening, I'm very happy and proud to say that my team was proactive, and we were ready with our store before the temple opened.
Right.
So, it is just, our entire focus is on tier 2, tier 3 cities now. That's where the demand is. That's where the aspirational factor of the end consumers is. They all want to, they've all seen the investment by the government in infrastructure. The road connectivity has improved considerably, and that has all impacted their, personal growth as well in their lives.
Right.
So the new culture coming in, new stores coming in, new lifestyle coming in, new money coming in. So definitely for us as a brand, that's where the growth journey is to tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Right.
So looking forward to an amazing growth journey.
Very well put up. Mr. Shami Agarwal.
Yeah, thank you, Arjun. I'm Shami Agarwal, Director of Pansari Group. Well, Pansari majorly is a company which provides edible oils, rice, spices, flours, ready mixes. So we are somebody, चाहे कहते ना कि tier 1 हो, tier 2 हो, tier 3 हो, everybody will eat and sleep. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है कि यार tier 1, tier 2 में लोग खाना नहीं खा रहे हैं. And the best part is people are more prone to change. मतलब they really want to try new things over there. Metro में लगता है कि every new shop or every new stores or every new channels are there. But in tier 2, tier 3, the best part is you get all the data online these days. SFG group का population wise, मतलब how we target tier 2, tier 3 is we generally see a population census कि अगर हरियाणा में हम कर रहे थे, हरियाणा में रूरल में what is the population status in district wise, zilla wise, village wise, and accordingly what channel should be applied. You won't imagine a company like Blinkit has reached tier 2 these days. So if you're not in tier 2 and tier 3, so it's like we are losing a lot. As Mr. Samir has recently mentioned about the roadways as well. You see the road connectivity, पहले जो distance होता था ना वो बोलते थे कि कितना किलोमीटर है, मतलब you know कि how far is your factory from your workplace, or now people say कितना time लगता है. So the road connectivity has changed everything. It's in India, I think every 50, 100 kilometers the language changes, but you need to understand the TJ, the demand, and what is the requirement of the end consumer in tier 2, tier 3. I think for us it has always been a great opportunity. Wherever humans are, we have to be there. Yeah.
Right. Very well put up, Mr. Agarwal. Khushbu, if you would like to give those opening comments on what you're reading from the consumer sentiment when it comes to these cities.
So it's just not tier 1, tier 2, but you see the entire segment, retail space segment is expanding. And I, coming from fashion, I see that you cannot just be focused on one kind of, format. Other formats work too, and with the changing, customer behavior, consumer behavior, what they want. You see, he spoke about quick commerce. It took up like a rave last year, and it's doing very well. I think live commerce and social commerce, that's gonna be next big thing. And of course, the retail gives an opportunity for brands like us to have experience stores, and customer can come and get brand credibility and all. But I think everything should be taken into account when we talk about retail and expansion of retail. Yeah.
Right. Very well put up, and we'll come about talk about quick commerce as well. I mean, the kind of growth that we've seen in the last 1 year, that's probably the reason why we see Dipinder Goyal nowadays talking about how Blinkit will be bigger than Zomato in coming days. But Akash, coming back to you, you talked about how and what real estate developers are looking for in these cities. If you could delve deeper into what the mix is when it comes to these cities between high street retail and malls, what are some of the cities that they're planning to, if you could give a larger picture about that?
See, in a broad way, everywhere. See, high street is always different from a mall culture, wherein high streets restrict with few categories of brands, wherein it cannot provide all the categories which are present to the consumers at one place. But however, in malls, yes, you can actually offer the consumers all the categories, may it be entertainment, may it be jewelry, may it be fashion or eateries. So there will be always a difference between high street and malls across India. In few cities, yes, high street works pretty well. In few cities, malls works very well. What I read that in tier 2, tier 3 cities, if we build a mall, definitely that would be a game changer, and it will be a eye catcher for those consumers, because those people have not seen mall. They always travel to different cities to experience that.
Going to malls for some families is still a luxury proposition.
Exactly.
Right.
So in tier 2, 3 cities, that's why malls are much needed, and brands which are not present in those cities would definitely do well, because the potential is very high. Yeah, that's what.
So from your group perspective, can you tell us about what your group is doing at this level when it comes
So we are definitely building malls as well. We are getting into residentials as well. Like, we already have one neighborhood center, and that too in a new city. I call it a new city because it is Gurgaon extension. It's New Gurgaon. It's sector 85 in Gurgaon. So that's itself a new city in Gurgaon. In last 3 to 4 years, we have seen immense growth in that particular corridor because of Dwarka getting connected. Recently, our Prime Minister have inaugurated the Dwarka Expressway road. So the connectivity has become very, very good. Similarly, after that, we are building another mall in Noida Extension. So that is also a new city.
Right.
It's not Noida itself, but again, if you see the density of people living there is much higher than the main Noida.
Okay.
Because in Noida, there were earlier, there was no scheme of apartments. There were a lot of builder floors and colonies which were cut earlier. But in Noida Extension, I think 90% of development is multi-story.
Right.
So the density is very high. So basis that, we are building a mall, a 1 million square feet mixed-use development, wherein there will be a 500,000 square foot of a retail, entertainment, eatery thing, then a hotel. So That is one. Then we are also exploring something in Haridwar, let's say, because it's again
Big tourism spot
It's
as
a
well.
tourism spot
Religious
spot as
tourism.
well. We're exploring those things. So yeah, we are exploring these kind of cities for more developments.
Very well put. Mr. Shami Agrawal, I would like to come to you. You see, you're in a sector which probably is the most affected by key macroeconomic trends, be it inflation, and that results into that urban-rural divide that comes when we talk about FMCG companies. Given the challenging conditions that have prevailed in the last 1 or 2 years, and now that elections are coming, if you look at the commentary, these are the cities which are the beneficiaries of key government policies, key government free transfer subsidies. They are the beneficiaries of these policies. So how do you see your expansion strategy when you look at these cities? If you could go a bit deeper on that.
As I mentioned, how do we plan if we are going rural areas? First of all, we see what is the population size over there. Then we see who are all the competitors over there. कि उनका कितना business है. What is the trade channel? It's just not, you can't have modern trade or malls at least in, say if you go Delhi NCR if you talk about, there'll be 1 or 2 malls recently opened in Sarita Vihar, not in Faridabad. And same in Sonipat. People prefers to come to Delhi than Sonipat, Panipat, those belts.
Right.
So first we see the population area, then we see the market size. What are the channels? Like if you talk about these days, everybody is there on YouTube, या फिर WhatsApp पे everybody is over there. It's very easy to do a segmented market. How you wanna channelize if you are targeting say Sonipat, so how you wanna channelize the TG for Sonipat as well. Other than that, there are SFG groups or influencers. जैसे हमारे में बोलेंगे influencers, there are somebody who's with 1,000, 10,000 or maybe million followers, the influencer. But if you go rural, it's majorly the sarpanch, the village leaders are the rural. One of the teachers is the influencer. So how we do it? We generally see what are the product market fit as per the market. Like as he mentioned about the upstreet market, they're all nuclear families. They prefer all ready to cook, ready to eat products. जहाँ पे nuclear families है, husband wife दोनों काम कर रहे हैं, उनको सबको जल्दी बनाना, जल्दी जाना है. But if you go to a rural market, there you will see वो एक बार 2 बार try कर लेंगे ready to eat, but they'll be more happy making their own products. मतलब rather they are still grinding their own masalas, so they buy whole spices over there. They are more quality conscious. I won't say कि if you talk about any industry, हर जगह कहते हैं यार कि हर एक को if you talk to anybody ना सबको सस्ता और बढ़िया चाहिए, मतलब वैसे सबको चाहिए सस्ता भी चाहिए बढ़िया भी चाहिए. I think in food we talk about सबको बढ़िया चाहिए और सस्ता चाहिए, मतलब the बढ़िया word comes before सस्ता, because nobody wants to compromise with health, and whatever has been they should be it COVID or be it anything, people are more prone to be more active towards their health consciousness. Right. So I think if you talk about tier 2, it's majorly less competitive than metro cities because everybody wants to be in metro cities, but you have to be very specific with respect to the communication you use. अगर regional है तो language is a main thing. If you go to south, मतलब तेलंगाना अलग है, आंध्र अलग है, केरला अलग है, there's a lot of different languages. Right. मतलब you cross the border of Delhi and Haryana, you see different language. So same that matters a lot. Local कहते हैं ना localization. हमें बोला जाता है यार कि being Indian, we generally see make in India, and state wise people see यार ये हमारा अपने घर का product है. That's how the demographic has been divided. So yeah.
Right. And if you would like to give a first-hand experience of what these past 6 months, 1 year has been in general for FMCG companies, because if we see their growth, they're registering single-digit growths or even negative growths quarter on quarter. How has that things been for you?
If you talk about industry is growing at a decent pace. If you talk about Pansari Group, we are glad that we targeted 70% year on year, but we end up doing 52%. We'll be closing at 50 to 55%. It's majorly you have to analyze the market trend. As I mentioned, 2 years back, 3 years back, nobody have ever imagined that somebody like Quick Commerce doing 1,000 crore business. Blinkit does approximately 70 to 80 crores annually for us. Okay. So it's like you have to be present on different channels. Government is doing free ration, मतलब अब election आ रहे हैं तो subsidized rate of ration, subsidized rate of rice. So we have to monitor that कि अगर हरियाणा में वो oil सस्ता दे रहा है तो nobody will buy at all. मतलब simple सी बात है ना. Why will people spend more money if they're getting a subsidized rate of oil and flours? Right. So I think as an industry, government is taking all the measures to keep the inflation down at least till the elections. I'm not sure what's going to happen after the election. Ki exports bhi G2G ज़्यादा हो गया instead of private. When I say G2G, government is exporting rice themselves, then the private players,
Okay.
and flows has been banned. So government is doing all the measures to curb the inflations. But
Right.
at the same time, as a company or as a individual or as an organization, we have to see what are the new channels, what are the things which are opening, how is the consumer behaving these days. If पहले कहते ना newspaper में ad देना was called expensive, these days our spend on digital is way higher than the spend on say BTL or newspaper.
Right.
So all these things matter a lot. And as an FMCG, as you mentioned, for a bigger company, they are not growing because of the local players.
Okay.
As I said, no, it's very hard for a bigger company to change policies overnight or change things in quicker session. But a smaller company will do it very fast. We have different structure or different policies, different team for South, different team for say Western region. That's how generally you have to work for being a hyper local brand. You have to be a hyper local brand, I would say.
Now, you mentioned some of the things. I'll come to you on those next questions, but very rightly put. Khushbu, you both are from the apparel sector. I'll just start with you first. If you look at trends, Zudio, they've elaborated expansion plans on paper when it comes to these category of cities. For a digital first brand, how are you positioned when it comes to expansion here? If you could delve deeper on that.
So I would like to address to say that there is still dearth of brands in India. Earlier, you would see 10 years back, where would you go and shop? In a shop that's near your house or a high street fashion. There were no brands. And now there are various segments. Okay, you have luxury, you have premium, you have budget, you have so many segments and so many requirements, and reading the customer, the urban customer is required. Expansion plans work and then they're working, but then you have to read the customer. Some might hold sustainability close to heart and they might be looking for homegrown brands that they want to invest in. Some might see the value for money and then they might go to offline stores. And also then convenience, okay, perception, everything matters to the modern customer. So understanding the customer is right now is the key. And also I always say you snooze, you lose. So I'm not just going to, just D2C is not the answer.
Right.
You have to be present offline, you have to be present online. And the way the market is changing, I'm seeing an integration of these two formats also, like an experience center. Recently, I just keep telling people that people have started buying skincare from the airport because they travel a lot. The lifestyle is such that you travel a lot, and then whatever is you are at the airport while going and coming back, and you're buying all your skincare from there. I've seen the trend. So that way, the mall experience will change. It will have a single outlet, I think gaming outlet, and then and there you get food there. You can buy on the spot. On the same machine, you can do everything. So that is what I think retail is going towards with the coming of AI and reading the trends and customer convenience that we are thinking of in the future.
Right. And at a level of Campus Sutra, if you could tell us, everybody, as to what the expansion plan when it comes to offline, as you mentioned, that we have to have an omni-channel presence. So at Campus,
we are already present with all the large format stores. We are present in 500 locations in India. And we are present in 22 countries, and our online presence has been more proactive from the very start. Earlier, brands would tell customers that what is coming in, what is the trend. These days, customers prompt that this is what we want, what the market wants, what we are doing. So Campus Sutra is really proactive in that, and listening to the customers.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Samir, if you would like to add to it, because the bulk of your focus is on these cities, you would be in a better position to tell, and more importantly, you're doing majority of it through physical stores.
No, but very well said, Khushbuji. I'll add to it. Yeah. Again, customer is king. So, whatever our customer wants, we better be equipped to provide that. And especially with tier 2 and tier 3 cities, people have become very, very self-aware. They know what they want. They know what kind of skincare they want. They know what kind of clothes look good on them, what color suits them. With technology, with so much information They have developed their mindset, cultivated it to the T, and they are very, very clear. And for any brand, be it tier 2, be it tier 3, or even tier 1, they need to be very well quick on their feet to adapt to what the customer wants. So that holds true for all segments. Definitely at Meena Bazaar, we pride ourselves on a very quick stock turnover ratio. We pride ourselves on a very quick, inventory chain. So all our supply chain is catered to what the consumer may need right now.
Right.
So it's just more focus apart from the business expansion side has been on the product expansion side. So making sure all our processes are streamlined, all systems are set up so that the time taken from manufacturing or to market is reduced, and it's quicker and quicker and quicker.
Right, very rightly put. Akash, just a quick connected question from if I pick something what about Shami said, he talked about how quick commerce is growing in tier 2 cities. Now it may not be directly related to you, but if you could share any insight when it comes to the warehouse leasing space, as these quick commerce are using to set up their dark stores, उसका कोई सिनेरियो अगर आप बता पाएं tier 2 cities में किस तरीके का warehouse leasing.
See, warehouse is a very different chapter altogether. We are definitely not into warehousing, but I think he can only answer it well with the warehousing thing. Yeah, how
Dark stores.
As I mentioned, Blink, I think we generally have annual operating plans with our customers as well. Ki what is the target for next customer, next financial year? So we realized that Blinkit showed us they have opened 3,000 dark stores. So imagine 3,000 dark stores across India. And as Sameer ji mentioned about the inventory and logistic, it's all about being present in tier 2, tier 3 or be it anywhere, because if you are available then only you are saleable. Customer these days get impatient अगर 10 मिनट में माल नहीं आता तो मतलब it's very मतलब they are the kind of things which we are adapting is I don't know where we will end up doing is अगर आज के डेट में if you call somebody if they don't answer on first ring ना second ring तक तो हो जाती है पूरी sorry हाँ but it's like that's how people are changing in for quick commerce as well. So imagine if you really want to do anything, be it tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, but you have to be physically or at least your stocks you have to be there. You can't tell customer that yaar कि you'll मतलब the product will be available after 2-3 days, 4 days. In India, the thing is if they want it right away only.
Right.
The planned purchases are very few.
They're paying for convenience, right?
So like I am from a brick and mortar kind of a environment, so I am not an online buyer at all.
Right. Okay.
Because as rightly said by him that consumer has very less patience when they order online.
Right.
People have patience. That's why the online industry have grown in few years. But there are a lot of people who still believe in touch and feel, and that's how we build malls and we all have offline presence. So I don't have patience. मैंने कुछ मंगाया अगर मैं as a consumer if I talk about if I have ordered something वो वैसा का वैसा पड़ा है अगर size नहीं आया तो I have not even bothered to return it because I don't have patience to take out time to again click on it and again the guy will come and give it back. So yeah, so patience तो नहीं है consumer में बिल्कुल.
One other thing, that I would love everyone of you to talk about is this one word that has gained prominence in the last year specifically a lot, premiumization. In business media, I have noticed there are two overused words since the time of COVID. One is resilience and second is premiumization. For the first time when I was using this word in my story, my phone dictionary didn't pick it up. Nor did even Microsoft Words dictionary picked it up. So that's something that, is purely a result of how consumers are spending and how we are calling it. But Shami ji, आपने एक बात कही कि सस्ता है, बढ़िया है. But this trend shows that महंगा भी खर्च करने को तैयार हैं अगर बढ़िया चीज मिल रही है. From your sector's perspective, FMCG's perspective, and especially when it comes to the rural sector, if you could shed some light on it, on this trend.
I'll tell you, with respect to Mehanga Sasta, it's about the perceived value. If you go to a store like LV, Gucci, you see people are waiting outside to get into the store. Buying तो बहुत दूर की बात है. Line लगी होती है बाहर की 10 मतलब I think 70,000 की बेल्ट खरीदनी है पर line लगी हुई है and people say India is not मतलब doing good these. It's about how you make a brand or the persona of your brand, the perceived value. देखो with respect to apparels, it maybe it's visible that I'm wearing a Gucci belt or LV belt or whatever. But with respect to food, it's always a value. When we say
Right.
सस्ता बढ़िया, it's like कि बढ़िया is before सस्ता. अगर बढ़िया है, people are happy to pay the premium. But it's not कि यार कि imagine कि with a just a packet बहुत बढ़िया है और brand बहुत बढ़िया है, it doesn't mean that a similar product will be end up consuming more. But at the same time, अगर same belt Gucci में और same belt किसी local shop में है, you'll end up paying more for the logo. It doesn't happen in the food one.
Right.
Because it's a perishable one, you consume it, it's over. It's all about the experience, it's about the taste. If that is sorted, if the quality sorted, जैसे पंसारी की टैगलाइन है, सेहत आपकी वादा हमारा, the trust. If you have the trust in the brand, price is again secondary, but the quality trust is main. But again, premiumization with respect to commodities or with respect to food is not in that segment with respect to apparels or capital goods. Yeah.
Is there any price point which internally Pansari Group sees as an aspirational price point when it comes to your products? Just an example, like HUL considers 120 plus, especially when it comes to the rural or tier 2, tier 3 cities.
We जो कस्टमर को चाहिए, मतलब honestly सिंपल सा एजेंडा है कि सपोज अभी रिसेंटली हैव लॉन्च्ड ग्रीन टीज, तो वी लॉन्च्ड अ बायोडिग्रेडेबल डिप. इमेजिन जो मतलब आई थिंक इट्स दी बेस्ट इन वर्ल्ड. अगर कोई देगा तो उसके बराबर ही दे सकता है, इसके बढ़िया कुछ भी नहीं है. सिंपल हर्ब्स एंड ऑल. बट व्हेन वी लॉन्च्ड एंड हमने जो टीजी करा था, इट्स वेरी निश. तो अब हमें क्या करना, मतलब वी लाइक ठीक है, लेट्स डू अ डबल चैम्बर, सिंगल चैम्बर ऑल्सो. तो दिस इज लाइक वॉट एवर द कस्टमर इज वॉन्टिंग, यू कांट, इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू, मतलब people, big companies do such marketing activities कि नहीं we'll change the customer, but companies like us, we follow the trend.
Right.
We is like we get inspired what is being the masses.
Right.
Instead of making a trend, we generally seek here what is going on, what is the customer wants. It's much safer, I would say, and it's much accepted.
Right.
It's like here क्यों experiment करना है, and why do you want to do it? If you see a good audience, and we have a strong network, we have a strong channel, we have 15-16 depots across India, company owned depots. तो होता है ना जैसे inventory and all those things are that well managed, it's all channelization. And trust me, in any industry, मतलब at least in FMCG, it's always about quality. It's premiumization or value, cost, it's way below it. If the quality of a premium product is also not accepted, doesn't mean whatever the brand is.
Very well put. So, Khushbu, Samir, Shami clearly giving an indication of this thing being prevalent more in your sectors. Khushbu, if you would like to start.
Yes,
first.
fashion is a victim of premiumization, obviously. And then you have these brands, legendary brands. But we in Campus Sutra believe in affordable fashion. We bring fashion to India, and the segment that doesn't, the college going kids, they did not have any fashion brand for them. They did not have, clothes to say that this is what we want to wear and this is what we believe in and this is what we are wearing, this is fashion, this is what we aspire to wear. So Campus Sutra brings that to India, and I think a lot of more brands are coming, and I'm happy they're coming in this space, and the money is not going out of India, it's here. Is coming to us, yeah. So premiumization, I think in India, premiumization is happening with homegrown brands, and which again is labeled with sustainability and local sourcing and using, manpower in India, artisan weavers, and I think the premiumization of that should be done because obviously support local is what we all believe in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Samir, how do you see this aspirational category when it comes to these cities? I mean, you would be in a better position to tell.
I definitely here I somewhat disagree. Fashion is never the victim. The brands or companies that don't keep up with change are the victims. You have to be quick on your feet to adapt to what the consumer is thinking as premium. If you can offer that with your values, brand values intact with the best price or the qualities, I think that's a win-win game. The consumer is definitely driving the brand progression. They are the director. You have to follow their direction. What they want. They want celebrity-inspired lehengas or, outfits or cuts or colors, you need to be quick to adapt to that and have that as part of your product portfolio. But I mean, I definitely feel everyone amongst us, anywhere in the world, wants to be a better version of themselves. So, how do they do that? By becoming a little more premium or a little more refined at the end of it. And that's what, brands have to keep on striving to do with their companies as well, with their brands as well, with their products as well, everything.
Akash, from an investor's perspective, if you could give us some insights on how they are looking at these projects beyond the Delhi NCR on the metropolitan region of Mumbai, when it comes from an investment perspective, how much of the investing class is willing to invest on the bets taken by real estate developers in these cities?
You mean that if you want to buy a shop?
Buy or shop? Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
That way? So yeah, because see, these tier 2, tier 3 cities, the prices are anyways low as of today. If you
Right.
compare with any other metro city or a tier 1 city,
Right.
so there is and the disposable income is actually growing now. The
Right.
people are getting retired in those cities and they have disposable income, so they need to invest. And so if they are in tier 2, tier 3 cities, and if they see that there's a nice development coming in, so they rather invest into their own city rather than going somewhere else.
Right.
So there is a huge demand as well in terms of investors per se. If we build a nice neighborhood shopping center or a high street kind of a retail, yes, investors are very gung-ho about buying these. We have huge demands.
Right. My last question to all three of you in terms of the marketing strategy, catering to the design language, of course, brand loyalty is dwindling in such competitive environment. If you could shed some light on that, especially the strategy adopted through social media when it comes to social commerce as well. Samir, if you would like to start.
Sure. I think hyperlocalization has happened. Instead of influencers in general, brands are now moving towards local influencers. Like you said about the Sarpanch being the influencer in a small town. Every town has their own local influencer. So for brands to tap into that database and making sure that through them their products are marketed or promoted is what now the name of the game is. I mean, one of the biggest case studies worldwide is this brand called Lululemon, and how Lululemon actually partnered with athletic sportswear, leisure wear, yoga wear, and how they partnered first with yoga instructors. Gave them their products to use, to wear, get feedback on, and then sort of fine-tune their own product mix. I think that's a great study to follow. If all brands can do that, give it to a select few people, get their feedback, and definitely work on it.
Right.
Be it at a hyperlocal level, that's the ideal situation.
Right. Thank you. Shamir, if you would like to comment.
Like as you mentioned about brands, I think it's very important to first you see where you want to position your brand. Like under Pansari, we have 7-8 different brands. Most people, I don't know if you know, Oriel is also our brand. In Oriel, we do premium cold press oils. So, Bata and Hush Puppies are from same company, or Lexus and Toyota is the same parent company. So it's very important how you see your brand to be perceived by consumer. So the positioning statement, your TG has to be very clearly defined. होता है क्या कि we think यार ये product सबके लिए है या ये product all geography के लिए है या फिर all tier 2. It doesn't work like this. It has to be from packaging to the brand positioning, what your brand communicates digitally. So मतलब digital media में भी या print media में भी has to be very clearly. मतलब generally we hire expert agencies and they do all the market research and together we conclude with some of the brand values, brand playbook. So as you mentioned, the price point about being, how do you see the price point? It's all depend how your brand communicates about the product. Like Pansari is for masses, is majorly for masses, the quality product and affordable price. But we have like Oriel brand for the cold press oils. So people who buy from say Food Hall, Modern Bazaar, so we'll get our products placed over there, a nice English packaging with our tagline of a drop of trust. So it's all about where do you well, how do you position your brand? It's very important, and all the communication should go via according to the brand values only. And when you say ki what communication to choose, these days, I think everybody use YouTube. So we as a decent FMCG brand, we have a followers of over 250,000 on YouTube as well. Now these days, WhatsApp community, WhatsApp channels are coming. The more you engage with your retailers, customers, consumers, it's not bombarding the social media with the messages. It's majorly giving them the education information. So this is that has been really working for Pansari Group as a. The more you communicate, the more you engage. We do a lot of on-ground exhibitions across India. We do approximately 60 to 70 exhibitions per year. मतलब चाहे छोटी बड़ी से लेकर. There we get to meet end consumer retailers and get consumer insights as well. So it's very important, whatever your brand is, you have to be very clear. मतलब it's very hard to say no to a customer, but if he's not our customer, we have to align कि नहीं यार, this is not our right TG, so we have to मतलब stay out of that market as well.
Right. Khushbu, if your concluding comments on this.
So, as he rightly said, content these days, what you generate for your brand, the visual as well as the videos that you make and the pictures that you take, that play a very big role. These days, customer need a tailor-made plan for them, that with this I'll wear these shoes, these bag, and I'm set to go to this place. So that is what we give to the customer, a complete solution. And also, rightly said, micro-influencers. Because today, the customers become very experimental. They want different fabrics, different styles, different, they are more exploratory in that. So micro-influencer works to teach to your target audience that this type of, category, if this influencer does, this is the customer that I want to target to.
Right.
So that works well.
Right. Yeah. One last question, because since and Shami very, precisely mentioned about the growth in quick commerce. Now, yes, we've seen that for the grocery segment, but now we see even the apparel segment coming up here. So how do you see the growth potential here? I mean, Samir, it's just 5% of your channel online. But now that apparels are coming even on quick commerce as well, both of your comments on as to how you see the growth potential on this.
For me, I've always believed in the touch and feel factor of apparels. I honestly feel that's always there to stay. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are a retail store first. I mean, we're a physical brick and mortar store first. We have an e-commerce presence. But, unicommerce, omni-channel, phygital, those are the buzzwords that, each brand has to follow and sort of cater it to its own. For us, we are very clear. Our expansion is more in brick and mortar than in online. I mean, we've experimented. We were one of the early adopters of technology, even as far as e-commerce is concerned. But with apparel, especially with the premium market, they want that touch and feel factor. They want to definitely, try it on, experience it, what kind of feelings they get when they're trying out an outfit, how confident a person is.
Right.
And that can only happen with brick and mortar stores. I mean, definitely with, ease, if you know what you want, you have brand loyalty, this size fits me, this color looks good on me, all that, then your options just for the ease of convenience is sorted. But everywhere, people are now looking for their, that third space. So malls, stores, coffee shops, community hubs are where people like to hang out more. And for us as a retail brand, it's just simple maths that, be present where people are present, and automatically you'll get eyeballs, you'll get sales, you'll get footfalls, and, take it forward.
Right. Khushbu, you would like to add?
Yeah, so being from an online first brand, so we always read the customer, and we discussed earlier that the customer is getting impatient. So I think quick commerce is the way to move, and it will work in our advantage.
Okay.
And I think that is what our brand,
Very
looking
rightly
forward
put.
to, yeah.
Screen showing time's up. Thank you so much, panelists, today for talking about as to what retailers are looking for in the cities of tomorrow and the value proposition that they're seeing there. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience. Can we please have a big round of applause for them?